My experience was that it was quite a bit. You guys see that? Which is my primary. We're on week 14. Hi, welcome to FiberLoveDiary. I'm Trish if we haven't met, and if we have met, welcome back. You're probably a subscriber and I appreciate you so much. In fact, I packed orders for my Etsy shop this morning. It took me like 2.5 hours to get them all done, and I appreciate that too. Like, may that continue so that I can hire somebody that can help me on a weekly basis to pack orders. Wouldn't that be amazing to give somebody a job that would work with their schedule? So thank you for that support too. You guys are the best. This is the channel where I document my fiber journey, usually including spinning, weaving, knitting, sometimes a little crochet, maybe some felting. There's gonna be more. There has been more. You never know. In fact, I have a couple new things. Guys, I have a couple new fun things to do. So it's all gonna be a surprise though, I can't tell you. I've been working on a breed study and putting it out there for the universe. Some of you have been spinning along. Some of you might spin along in a year or 2 years or 5 years. I don't know. There's a playlist. You can do it whenever you want. You're not behind. You're exactly where you're supposed to be. And there's a playlist to support you wherever you are, right? Okay. Cool. We're on week 14 of the breed study. There's a link below to the breed study that I bought. After week 15, which is gonna be next week, I'm gonna go ahead and do my project, and then after, for a while, I think I'm gonna do 2 more breeds or species, like a month maybe, for a while, but they won't be part of the project for this breed study. I just felt like there could have been more. Before we get started, very minor housekeeping things. First of all, about 2 weeks ago I mentioned that I was not feeling okay, and I was overwhelmed by how many of you reached out to me. So thank you so much. I appreciate it. I can't tell you how much. I find it hard to talk about, but I told you guys for a couple reasons. One, because I thought it was going to affect my kind of loose schedule, which is a video on Tuesday and a video on the weekend. I was concerned it was going to affect that, but also I told you guys because I really think that it should be more okay to say. I have a really hard time talking about it. Even if you reach out, it's just hard for me to talk about. But I want you guys to know, if anything ever happened that was really concerning to me, or I mean, there is a point where I feel more than comfortable going to get help. I haven't been able to find a doctor that I like here, but if I need medical help, I do kind of know where that point is, and I will definitely seek it. So do not worry. A lot of you have said like you seem to be feeling better. I do not feel better. I actually feel the same, but all of you guys reaching out was like overwhelming. It was really nice. So thank you. I appreciate it. We're on week 14. Can you believe that? Week 14. So the breeds this week are Welsh, that's all it says on here, and Wensleydale. There are multiple breeds that include Welsh in them. I think, hard to say for sure, but I think this is Black Welsh Mountain. So I'm going to read the information on that, but I'm going to read the description for the Black Welsh Mountain because I don't know 100% for sure. Okay, let's do it. I have spun Black Welsh Mountain before. It was kind of similar to this. It was one of those raw little sample bags from the fleece study way back when. They come from the southern mountains of Wales. They're the only breed of Welsh mountain sheep they have in North America. Did not know. Apparently, all the animals in North America started with 3 rams and 13 ewes, although they have imported some male genetic material to add diversity to the breed. You have to do that, otherwise you have problems down the road eventually. Oh, they're cute. Looks like he's smiling. So this is a Black Welsh Mountain Ram. It does say they're recognized as a unique breed, and they were developed over the years for the color. Basically, there were like a few black sheep in the breed, just the Welsh mountain breed, and so they were picking them out and breeding them for the color, and now it's a unique breed all on its own. Oh, it says they don't gray with age, which most dark fleece sheep do, and they're different in wool quality. They're shorter and more Kemp free because of the breeding process. They've like bred that out of it. Oh, and also says like it's a crisp fleece, and it's in the range for making many garments and household textiles, sweaters, hats, and mittens to the blanket realm. My experience is the sample that I had way back when was extremely rough and prickly and coarse, but this is less so. Black Welsh Mountain facts. Fleece weight is 2 1/4 to 5.5 pounds, which is definitely like on the smaller end. 2 to 4 inches. Some of you can guess what that means after all this. 28 to 36 microns, so it's a little bit more coarse than a lot of them that we have spun. It's kind of like more in a mid-range to even a more coarse range. The lock characteristics: dense and firm, not very long, almost free of Kemp. I thought I saw some Kemp in here, but I'm pretty sure it came from a different sample. All these samples were in like a big bag together, and some of them let off, you know, a hair here and there on something else, because I only saw one, and I don't think that since I see 0 more, and it would be really noticeable, and also it was white, so I don't think it was from this one. Deeply black, perhaps with a reddish cast. This does actually have a slightly reddish cast. Not sure if it's going to show up on the camera or not, but I can see it. I think you can probably see it. Oh, and it does say they're likely to have slightly brown tips. That happens a lot with darker fleeces. There's only so much you can do. All applied colors when dyed will be lost because of the black. Actually, that'd be really interesting to try dyeing though. Fiber prep and spinning tips. Locks, it looks like they're kind of disorganized locks, so they can be easily separated by locating the tips. You can card any length or comb the longer fleeces. Okay, it also says spinning from the lock is an option. It isn't an option for us because we don't have any locks, we just have this, but that's cool. To me, this feels more towards the middle, but like I would say slightly coarser end of the middle. Good loft or bulk. The fabrics can be nice and lightweight and warm. Look at my friend, isn't he cute? I'm really looking forward to spinning this. Let's go ahead and check a staple length. I'm sorry, I shouldn't have worn a black t-shirt, but I barely own anything but black t-shirts. I have like 8 black t-shirts. Don't judge me. Okay, so we're gonna get to the end over here. Okay, this is for a 4-inch lock. So I'm gonna card this. I kind of debated going back and forth. I think I want to card it and do a really true long draw with this. I just think I'm really gonna like spinning it that way. It also has a feeling that I don't know how to exactly describe. They call it crisp. I don't know if that's how I would describe it. I think of it as like a woolly or a slightly rustic feeling, and that is something that I really enjoy spinning long draw. So that's what I'm gonna do. So if you guys are ready, well, whether you're ready or not, actually, let's go spin this. Oh, okay. All right. Are you gonna sit right there? You're such a nice boy. Okay. How many circles do we need to make? Okay. We're done spinning. I can't really say there was tons of surprises, but let's do this. I still think this is Black Welsh Mountain, even after spinning it. I spun it with a long draw. I'm sorry if I was dark in the video. You guys have seen me spin a million times. And I was trying to capture the hummingbird feeder, thinking that a hummingbird might come. I just love to sit where I can see that feeder all summer long. I do feed them by hand sometimes. I haven't done any of that yet this year because it takes time and you just have to sit there like completely still and just take as much time as it takes for them to come and eat out of your hand, and I just haven't had a chance to sit out there. Here is the Welsh. This is the Welsh. It's very squishy and lofty, just as it said, and it is actually a little darker than it's looking because it's reflecting some light. It's quite springy. You can see there's a good amount of spring in here, and I had 48 yards, so it's really quite nice. It's pretty prickly. It's a bit prickly, a bit coarse. I definitely would not want it on my skin. I probably wouldn't wear a garment made of this, period. I think my prickle threshold is pretty high, so to me this is a little bit prickly, but some people love that. So honestly, if that's kind of your thing, like I've heard different people say, my husband loves a prickly sweater, maybe this would be your thing. And it's pretty, so I don't know what I would do with it. But also the same thing happened when I did the raw fleece Black Welsh Mountain sample. I was like, not sure what I can use this for. It spun up long draw pretty nicely. It's not very grabby, so I needed to put more twist than I would have guessed. I mean, it's almost like a little slippy. I think maybe because the crimp's not, I'm not exactly sure, but maybe because the crimp's not very pronounced and it's disorganized, so maybe they don't grip each other. I'm really not sure, because it was probably the least grippy thing I've spun yet in this whole breed study. But it's fun to spin. I mean, anything that spins long draw really easily is just so much fun. So I did like it. I mean, it's fun to spin. I'm just not sure what I would use it for. You can't use it for a rug in this house because Gus's hair is white. It's gonna weave itself in there. In fact, I'm pretty sure this is a piece of Gus's hair right here. Welsh, AKA, I think, Black Welsh Mountain. What do you think? Have you heard of it? And we're on to the Wensleydale. Wensleydale may be the only breed, this is a direct quote, that can be traced directly to a single ancestor. So a ram lamb was born in 1839 to a mug ewe, which is like an older type of Teeswater, makes sense. And the ram was a new Leicester. So we actually kind of talked about how they influence other things, whatever. A Leicester is a long wool as well as a Teeswater. That ram lamb was leased for his services. It says for a fairly wide area for a number of years. He was used to breed mostly with Teeswater. And about 30 years later, they recognized his progeny, his offspring, as a breed unto themselves. But it does make sense now why it's so similar to Teeswater, right? It also says they basically didn't exist in North America until pretty recently, like in the breeding plans. People have been importing more genetic material to make Wensleydales over here. I know there have been some over here now. Strong lustrous wool, definitely that is what it looks like here. And just like when we did the Teeswater, it's saying when you compare them by numbers, they look almost the same on paper, but a hand spinner might see some subtle differences. The locks hang in distinct curly ringlets, and it doesn't felt well. It also has no kemp. It should have no kemp is what this says. We'll see. I don't see any, but sometimes it hides. And it's pretty uniform throughout the fleece, which is always nice. And it says, because of the length, yarns with low twist work well. I think I forgot to say that about the Teeswater, and I thought about it later. Because that fleece had such a long staple, I did spin it with a short forward draw. I kept it really low twist. In fact, like most people, I kind of have a natural treadling rhythm, and I was deliberately like saying, slow it down, slow it down, to make sure that I didn't over twist it. And I don't know what it is about the length that makes that happen, but also there's certain crimps that seem to make yarns get ropey with too much twist, and I think Wensleydale and Teeswater are two examples of that kind of crimp. There are well-established strains of colored Wensleydales that produce gorgeous shades of gray and black. I have had quite a bit of gray, and I've also had white that was whiter than this. It's not super white, just like the Teeswater. You can see it's more of like an ivory color, or even an ecru color. So here's some Wensleydale facts. It is a 7 to 20 pound fleece. You would expect it to be bigger if it's that closely related to a Teeswater. They're also quite big. Staple length 7 to 12 inches. Ooh. Oh, I gotta show you the picture of the sheep that they put in here. Look how cute he is. Or she. It's probably a she, right? Although I think if I were a sheep, to me it seems like those locks down in the face would be very stressful. I don't like it when my own hair is in my face. So the fleece weight, 7 to 20 pounds, often 10 to 15. Sounds like that's more the normal average range. Staple length 7 to 12 inches. 30 to 36 microns, so on the coarser end. So for locks, I already told you guys, very long, they're curly, and they hang together. They're very lustrous. White, gray, and black are their natural colors, and it says the exceptional luster produces clear, bright colors when dyed. That's kind of nice. And then basically it refers you to the Teeswater for the spinning tips. I don't know if you guys will remember, but it was like, if you want to card it, you should probably cut it in half. Are you getting down? No. You can comb it, you can flick it, you can spin it from the lock. It works well for a weaving yarn. And it also says, even though they're great for weaving, not so much rugs, more like tapestry, upholstery, fine worsted woolens. So it's gonna have drape and clear stitch definition. Also best known for luster, long staple, and fine diameter for a long wool. It's still coarse in the big range, but in the long wool range, it is on the finer end. Let's check a staple. I actually can't wait to spin this. It's going everywhere. I would say this is a little finer than the Teeswater. Okay. That was weird because I could feel it pulling out of my other hand, which was like 6 inches away. Okay, so I have both ends of this. Let's see, can I go out a little further? I bet I can. Yep. Oh my goodness, when am I gonna stop? Okay, so this is a 9-inch staple. Wow. Okay, so I am gonna spin this short forward draw, and I'm gonna keep it as low twist as I can, and I'm also gonna try to spin it a little finer than a lot of these. Let's go spin it. First of all, let me show you guys this. Weirdly, I got 72 yards out of this. I wonder if I didn't have a whole ounce of the tease water. Okay, so one of the things I've showed you guys many times, and I've got to show you again, is that the Wensleydale has no spring, and you can see it next to the springy, like I can pull this out the same length, but then bloop. The Wensleydale has no stretch. No stretch, but super drapey. Look at that. It's a little shiny and has like a little bit of a halo to it, which is kind of nice. I did spin it kind of fine, and I'm gonna just put the tease water right on top of it. So that's, I mean, look how similar those are. Very, very similar. But I will say this, like for lace, this would be so nice because you'd get a little shine out of it. You'd get a really pretty drape, and then also it's really easy to spin fine, and it wouldn't break or be like weak or scary because it's really strong and the fibers are very long. So this would make amazing lace. That is why that gray Wensleydale I showed you guys last week, this is why I did that in lace weight, because I thought it would make such a beautiful lace shawl, which I still haven't knitted because I'm still me. What are you gonna do? I don't have time. I enjoyed it. It is so similar to the tease water again, and to me they would basically, I don't know if I could tell the difference. I kind of doubt I could tell the difference. I think it would make amazing warp, just like the book said, and it is really strong. I was deliberately putting as little twist as I could stand to in it, and I could barely break it when I got to the end to get it off the leader. So it made me want to buy a bunch for spinning lace, because I do love to spin lace, and I love to spin gradient lace. If you guys ever saw the, what was that one called, Wild Swan, that I think I bought it already dyed, and then I spun it and knitted it and blocked it. Oh my gosh, I'll link it below. It was so beautiful, and I haven't spun lace in forever, so I think maybe it's time. This is making me feel inspired. Inspiration. Okay, so next week, where is my paper? Next week, we have Whiteface Woodland. Whiteface Woodland. Got a little black kemp in it that I don't think belongs there. It's reminding me a little bit of the South Down and the Tessel. The Tessel. See, I got it right. I can get it right eventually. And then also another, I think this is a Dutch breed. Someone will tell me, I'm sure. I know there's a bunch of you Dutch people that are watching. And okay, so this is what they told me it should be pronounced as, and I did look this one up, and it was like Zwartbliss. Zwartbliss? Zwartbliss? Does that sound right? Someone tell me. Please say you got it right this time. That would be cool, right? It is another darker one, and it does have like another slight reddish hue to it. So I'm kind of excited for next week, because this is one, I don't think I've spun either of these actually. So it'll be all brand new to me. Thank you for being here with me for 14, Breed Study 14, BS 14. I can't believe that we've gone this far together, but here we are. Oh, and this weekend, I'm gonna show you guys a sneaky peek of my pile of finished projects. It's on top of my Breed Study binder. We gotta go through all those and then some. I know there are more, because every time I go back to Ravelry or Instagram, I'm like, oh, I forgot this, I forgot that, I forgot that. So there's more, and they're out of control. So I hope I see you this weekend when we go through some finished projects, and I hope you guys have an amazing week. We're finally getting some nice weather, and it's so nice to be outside. I hope you guys get to be outside a little bit too. Thanks, I love you, bye.